This is What's Wild in New Hampshire with wildlife biologist Eric Orff. Well, today I'm at the Northwood Lake Dam in Epsom. Actually, this end of the lake is actually in Epsom, New Hampshire, and we're in a drought. The drought that started a year ago, last January, and the lake is down by at least 2 feet as of today. This is the 19th of April. We've had very little April rain, not much snow, and they've got the gate's pretty well closed here at the dam on Northwood Lake. Allowing a little bit of water, but not much. And when it's flowing this little, it's bound to warm up quicker. So it will be stressing any fish that are here, and the insect life that are normally under these rocks when there's more flow, they're going to be impacted. So it's every year, especially any drought year, there is a tug of war between the lake property owners and others downstream and the stream flow. So there's probably, this is a very small minimum flow. It's certainly helping, but awful lot of brook showing. So yeah, we're in a drought. The water's going to heat up quicker. The trout, above 70, it's fatal to them. So going to be an early spring for trout stocking, I would be willing to bet. They can't put fish in if it's 70 degrees or warmer. So we're in a race with time, and apparently to fill the lake. So battle, lake owners, habitat in the brook downstream. Definitely an ongoing battle with wildlife here between filling the lake and keeping water in the brook. So a tough situation this spring, because we are continuing to be in a drought. So it's going to be a difficult spring for our trout and the aquatic insects. No water in the brook. So again, tough year. Typically a typical year, this is when the brook would be flowing at its maximum. This is when everything lays their eggs and breeds. The life cycle is spiked by the spring flows. This year they can't do that. The summertime, yes, they're used to that, but they're not used to no water in the spring when there should be water in order to carry on their life cycle. So yeah, this is very not good for the biota of the Little Suncook River or any other river across the state. This is a tough year, and to have such a low flow when there should and could be more water, if you're a trout fisherman, you can't fish. You should be worried about the insects in your river. This is a real concern for us fishermen and as a biologist. A little snow this winter, and they didn't collect it in the lake, so we've got the gates pretty well shut down except for this flow. So there's 18 inches wide by 6 inches deep and 3 inches wide there, so very little flow. And I think maybe a week and a half ago, Little Suncook River was stocked with brook trout. Fishing game stocks this every spring. Can't stock it now. The people in the lake want their lake full, so the brook is sacrificed this time of year, especially in a drought year. And it's just not the trout. Fishing game can drive by and say, well, we can't put trout in a dried up brook. But it's the aquatic insects that are harmed as well. That should all be covered with water. You can see from the growth that normally has water on it. There are insects under those rocks that have no water now. Yes, they can survive for a time without water, but it certainly stresses them. So a year like this, where we had a drought, we've known we've had a drought, maybe they could have filled the lake sooner. I don't know. I don't have the answer exactly, but I do know that years like this brook will go dry for weeks and weeks and weeks when I don't think it should be. There is a minimal flow. It is flowing a little bit. I can't tell you how many gallons per second it's flowing, but it's not very much. It's just a few gallons a second. And the brook is dry. So all the aquatic life is suffering to fill the lake. And it was a known. We're in a drought. I don't know. Tough for the fish, tough for the insects, tough on the biota that lives in the Little Suncook River. And this is not atypical. You'll find this across the state this time of year on a drought year. A lot of the brooks will be dried up so that the lakes can be filled. This is what happens many a time in my life anyway. So, yeah, little Suncook River, dry as a bone. This is wildlife biologist Eric Orr for What's Wild in New Hampshire.